All right, Aji, we're officially starting. I see the red light. Got my cameraman, Mr. Johnny. Thanks for coming out and setting that up. Appreciate all the support here right now. And my name's Chris Puckett, as you know, and we're gonna play some original music tonight. So this is actually instrumental. So it looks like there's not a lot of people here, so I'm actually gonna change my setup than originally. So what I'm about to play for you is an album I just recently released at the end of last year. And so all my music that I'm playing for you tonight is based, so I just titled the songs after colors, basically, because it has a cool visual if you look it up. So all these albums right here are already released on Spotify, Apple Music. There's a couple copies I have for sale. So I'm actually gonna play for you an album that I don't have a physical copy of because I think we're well into the digital era. So we're gonna go through my latest album, Colors. It's called Colors 2. So this first song is called Cyan. So some of y'all might be wondering what the heck is going on.
It's going terrible. I'm not.
Okay, well, all right, well that's good. So,
I'm loving that.
basically, a lot of this music that I recently wrote is it's actually mathematical. So it's based off a thing called the 12-tone row. It's like a clock, right? So you have hours 12 through 11, right? So there's 12 notes in music, so you assign each of those notes a number, and then the sequence doesn't repeat. So all those 12 numbers don't repeat. So it's like a composition technique I learned at ECU. And so I applied it to my music to kind of make it sound out and kind of, artsy. So yeah, like I said, since there's not a lot of people here, I'm starting out with this set. It actually it's not all mathematical like this. It really is a cool composition technique, and you can write a lot of interesting stuff. Some stuff it's kind of hard to understand what's going on, but I can't really tell you what the 12-tone row is. I don't want to be here all night trying to explain. You just want to hear me play. So that was Cyan. Let's do it. Okay, so this is another one I wrote, another 12-tone row, so you can spot it. I kind of chunk it into segments, so you'll see it. A lot of mixed meter in here, so you'll. What's up, Greg? It's good seeing you, man. What up? We got some rock stars in the house.
Yeah.
The song right there. So I don't know if you heard it. I actually made a mistake, so it was like a 13-tone row, so that wasn't supposed to happen. So this is probably one of the harder songs I've ever written, but if I play relaxed, it should be all right for everyone. know they're like short, but they're about to get longer. They're like idea increment songs, kind of artsy music, like I said earlier. So this isn't like something I'd go play at the Buccaneer or something. No, I don't think they would like this. But Mickey gives us a place, so what up, dude? Hey. So actually, I want to dedicate this performance to Mickey. She's one of the best female business owners in the area, and she does a lot for the musicians in the community, and done a lot for me. And really thankful for her allowing us the space to play here. It's really great working with her, and we're all going to be sad if she goes. So. All right, so last song off of that EP. All right, and then we're going to get to some cool stuff. Then we'll be cooking with gas. So this song actually. So I actually wrote this song like in 24 hours. I was actually in Wilmington this past summer, and when I was recording this project, I needed one more song to record. So while my friend was at work and I was visiting him, I wrote this song, and like I used the 12-tone row technique to kind of help me find some stuff, and this came out. So I think it's one of the best songs I've ever written. This one's called Purple. Thank you. All right, enough math rock. Let's get to the good stuff. Right? I'll have to, revamp my set. All right, so this is a really cool project I wrote. So this album I'm about to play for you is called Prism. It's inspired by an album by a band called the Deer Hunter. They released an album called The Color Spectrum. So they released a 36-song album, whereas this is like a 9-track album. So not quite as epic as theirs, but it's, if you love something, go ahead and show it. So this is kind of like an ode to them, but it's my own, kind of twist on it. So this first song is called Black. Thank y'all. It's good seeing all my friends out here from all walks of life. This is so cool. Hopefully more people will show up too. I mean, not that it matters, but I mean, to Mickey it matters.
Oh, they're coming.
But they're coming. They're at the Dave Matthews.
They're gonna walk over there.
They don't know what they're missing.
Yeah, well, it's,
Town
maybe
comedy.
they do.
Traffic.
Maybe they've seen it before. So actually, speaking of Dave Matthews, huge influence of mine. So the whole, what you just heard there, like these chords are kind of inspired from Dave Matthews. So if I had known Dave Matthews tribute band was playing at the Town Commons tonight, we wouldn't be here right now. So, last minute news for sure. But they're supposed to be playing like somewhere by Lake Gaston, I think, in May on Sunday. So I was thinking about going out to see them, but it's pretty far out. I actually went to go see them in Raleigh a couple of months ago, and I forgot I had a rehearsal Sunday night when they were playing in Raleigh. And as soon as the rehearsal ended, I drove as fast as I could to Raleigh, and I caught them on their last song. It was, some people would say worth it, but it was kind of worth it. They were so good. So yeah, that one's Black. I actually wrote most of this music around COVID time. So when I was by myself, like many of us were. So a lot of my music that I'm playing for you tonight is something I use to help me soothe myself whenever, that's the perk about being a musician. You can, if you're not feeling great, if you can push through and pick up your axe, something might happen, and it's beautiful when it does. So I call this healing music. So all music's supposed to be healing music, but bad music can make you sick. So, and I've definitely been on both sides of the spectrum. So I'm trying to be more healing than sickening. So this next song's called. Oh, by the way, my producer that helped me mix and record this album, Max, is here. Thanks, Max, for showing up, dude. Max is a good buddy of mine. We met in music school at ECU, and we still keep in touch. So thank you for his friendship and his support. He's always at my shows, so it's really cool. So this one's Red. I think I wrote this, and a lot of it, since it's instrumental, I have to kind of give the narrative of the background of each song, so bear with me. So this actually the last song I wrote was like when COVID first dropped and me and my buddy were jamming, and I came up with that riff. So this was actually before COVID. One winter it got so cold, it froze over the little pond at Riverwalk Apartments, and me and Max went ice skating outside in Greenville. With our shoes on. It was kind of sketch, but it was still cool. So this song kind of reminds me of that time. So. Shorty but a goodie. Speaking of shorty, so some of these songs are just like a minute long. One of them is going to be 7 minutes long. So a couple of them. So they're just ideas that I've had, turn them into instrumental jams. And I got a whole discography now. My plan with this is to go travel to some foreign countries and play for people, specifically like India, Japan. I actually got this idea playing by myself from saxophonist Sonny Rollins, who's still alive today. He's approaching his mid-90s. And so talking about living history of the music, Sonny Rollins he's an American jazz musician. He's retired, obviously. Very good, thank you. So actually, the song I'm about to play for you is the first song I ever wrote when I was playing guitar in 8th grade and performed. So I played this at my 8th grade formal. It's like a pre-prom. And I didn't know what the heck I was doing. So, it actually took me a while to finish the song. So this song is even shorter than the last song. And actually took me until I graduated ECU in 2018 to finish it. So you'll even hear the difference where I started it, and you can be like, oh, so it's like two different parts, but it kind of makes sense. So this one's yellow. That's the last short one, I promise. Thank you guys. Gravity pick, man. It's all right. I got the .77. The other ones were too thick for me. I didn't want to break my strings, man. It's nice. I kind of noticed the difference.
Yeah, it's the clarity, man.
Yeah, I noticed the difference. I got my other one here too, but I'm gonna play with this one tonight. Yeah, Greg got me on gravity pick. So this one's actually one of my favorite songs. So for a while, my dad moved up to the mountains of North Carolina in Ashe County. And so when I was visiting him on one of my breaks at ECU, I was just chilling, observing the mountains and playing my guitar, and this kind of came out. So this is kind of that area of my life when I was living in the mountains of North Carolina, which is one of my favorite parts of my life, really. And just, I got to go hike the Blue Ridge Parkway for a couple of months when I was living there. It was just really breathtaking sights. So, by the way, I'm in half standard, so drop down a half step. So I'm in drop D flat. It's pretty hardcore, man. So, if you guys know anything about music theory, this is going to start on the sharp 11 and end on the sharp 11. And so these next two songs are kind of combined into one. So this is Indigo Violet. Again, I wrote this during COVID. I think I was at your house, Max. Remember when we weren't supposed to be hanging out? So, I mean, hey, man. We were just hanging out with each other, so it's not like, for the most part. So, yeah, I hope you guys enjoy this. This one's going to be one of those 7-minute epic songs. So, you'll even hear when it switches, too. It's going to be cool. So actually, I got a little happy and I skipped something. So this one's called Green. This was I wrote the song in high school, and I finished it later. Or I started writing it in high school. So people ask me, what's the hardest song you've ever written? I would say this one is probably one of the hardest songs I've written, just because the chords are just not normal shapes, and the dynamics too also has something to do with it. So this one's called Green. So much. And we're going to conclude this album. I actually wrote this one again right when COVID first hit, so like in January, February before the lockdown. And it y'all so much. It's so good seeing everyone. And don't forget to, help Miss Lori out. She's taking care of everyone right now. So thanks, Lori, for doing doing a great job, as always. All right, well, how about this? I'm gonna take a quick little breather. So don't go anywhere, because I got my next set, which is gonna be LIT. So I'm gonna take a quick break for about like 10 minutes or so. I'll be right back. Thanks for coming out. And that's why I stuck around.
You should be proud.
I am proud, for sure.
Very proud.
Be proud. So a little bit about my set tonight, if you guys are just coming around. So it's instrumental. I'm just, this is a talkback mic for narration. So we just got done jamming out to some acoustic guitar. Now I'm gonna be playing my 6-string bass for the rest of the set. So a 6-string bass is not your traditional 4-string bass. There's 2 extra strings. You get a low B, which is really nice. And then you get this higher C. And so the whole thing's tuned in 4ths instead of like a 6-string guitar where when you get to the B string, it's actually broken up by a major 3rd. So the bass is still tuned in 4ths, just like a 4-string bass. And so I've actually had this bass for since 2010. And so that's about 15 years now. And when I got this bass, I was listening to guys like, well, I still listen to him. John Young from Dream Theater. He plays a 6-string bass, and that was who I was checking out when I was a teenager. And so I just kept the bass, and you're like, what do I do with a 6-string bass? Everyone's like, I wanted to utilize a string. So another one of my favorite bass players, Victor Wooten. He plays mostly 4-string. But he plays a lot of chords. So I started learning chords too, and I figured with the 6-string bass, you can get some even richer chords. And so instead of selling my instrument, I decided to keep it. And I got a 4-string bass now, so it's all good. So this is music written for 6-string bass, and you'll understand with the chord shapes and the textures. So all of my music is original. I wrote it, and I just called the album, or the song called Colors, just to have something to call it by. On my SoundCloud, it looks really pretty. If you scroll down, you see all the colors and the tracks. It's really cute. So anyway, this upcoming set I'm about to play you. So this is from my album. Bass Olympics 2020. You can find my music on Apple Music, Spotify, all that good stuff. So this is Gold. all about the vibrations. It's like my favorite quote from Talladega Nights. Gotta love it. So yeah, you're gonna notice a lot of that in this set. So the bass is a lower octave. So I utilize some intervals that rub against each other and cause tension, like a major 7, and then also like a major 9 too, which is that's really a nice symmetrical chord, as you can see in my hands. It's all perfect fits. And then the major 7, and then if you do a major 7 in a lower octave like this, see how I resolved it? So here's an octave. You just change one note down a half step. So if you do it even lower than that, and just wait a while, it feels good. Got that boom, boom, pow. That was gold. So this song right here is probably one of my favorite songs I've ever written. I love this song so much, and you will too. This one's called Silver. See how long I can play this song for. Thank y'all. So I need to get one of the mics with the switch off. So, you know, we keep it old school though. All right, so this next song, if you guys went to my graduate recital last April, so I played this on my graduate recital. This is Bronze. Again, one of my best friends, Niraj, this is kind of based off of some melodies he used to play. Kind of took that from him. Thank y'all very much. So that concludes Bass Olympics, but here's a bonus track that didn't quite make the theme of the album, which is Olympics. Got gold, silver, bronze. So I wrote a song called Platinum. I guess we're talking about textures or something. So here's Platinum. So you guys might hear some familiar themes from some previous songs in this one. So I do kind of borrow and I do some variations on it too to keep it interesting. But this is actually another one of my favorite songs. I really liked this project. This was a really cool. I really like these songs. If anything, I come back to these ones because they mean a lot to me. So this song is called Platinum. All right. Looking good on time. So this next album, I'm gonna play 4 more songs for you guys. I might kind of wrap it up a little early tonight, Laura, just letting you know. Okay. So, just because, I don't have a lot of solo music like that yet. So I'm actually working on Colors 3. I'm about to play you Colors 1. We listened to Colors 2 earlier, but I might take that out of the live set because that doesn't really, it's too mathy and, it's not like, maybe they're just not really good songs. I mean, that happens, Not everything is great. So, but I like these songs are all right. So, especially, they all have each song that I wrote has intention, purpose, meaning. There's a story behind it. So this song is called Teal. I guess I call it that. Well, I mean, I don't really call the colors anything, but I wrote a song with words a while ago about a girl, and she went to UNCW, and I was like, it was based off the chords of, we don't date anymore. It was 10 years ago, So we don't date anymore, but so she went to UNCW. So I called the song Teal because it was like based off those same chords. So I guess there's some kind of meaning to it. But other than that, the colors have no meaning. They're just cool colors that I like. Instead of calling like opuses or like some like prancing through the flowers or something like that, you know, just call them colors because, you know, if you go to my SoundCloud, you can just scroll through and you see all the colors. It looks really nice. And that was kind of the vision I had for this project. It was like it's kind of visual based too, with some music behind it. So here's Teal. Sorry. Thank you. That's a nice one. So it's kind of hard to get. You got to be really careful. And you got to be just right on that. So.
Yeah, you got it right.
So, talking about the Dave Matthews Tribute Band, did anyone come from that earlier tonight?
No.
It was over at the Town Commons. I missed it. Like I said earlier, we wouldn't be here right now if I had known that was going to happen tonight. So I'm kind of sad I missed it because I love the Dave Matthews Tribute Band. But Dave Matthews is probably one of my top 3 favorite bands of all time. And Stefan Lassard, their bass player, got me into playing bass. So a lot of those chord shapes you see me using, it's just a root and a third. So you got a major shape, and then you have a minor shape. And then you can add a 7th in there too. You know, make it diminished, or dominant. So with the 6-string bass, you can get more clarity in chords. So that's like one of the benefits of this. I play in a band called Spare Change. We're actually playing tomorrow night at the Pickle Festival. We're actually playing at ECU too on Saturday morning at this football stadium. It's like 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. So I'll be out there with my group. So since joining them, I don't use the 6-string as much anymore. I actually bought a 4-string specifically to play for entertainment bands. Stylistically, it's more appropriate. And what I like about what I'm doing is because it's unique to me. Not a lot of people are really writing music for 6-string bass. So it's really cool because it kind of sets me apart, and I can do this by myself whenever I need to, and that's the beauty of it, you know. So I play with a group. I know how to play by myself. I know how to play with other people too, you know. There's fun in both. So Sonny Rollins, I mentioned him earlier, but he's the one that kind of inspired me to take up, you know, playing solo. And he's actually a jazz musician, and retired jazz musician. He is like approaching 95 years old. He's still alive. But the ECU professor now, Kobe Watkins, traveled with him world tour. And so that's living history here in Greenville, you know, taking place, because Sonny Rollins had a huge impact on the jazz industry. Millions of jazz records sold all over the world, so, you know, people just, he's famous. And he really made a lasting impact on the music itself. So anyway, I'm gonna play you another one of my favorite songs. This one's called Turquoise. I actually wrote this when I started my master's at ECU in 2021. So I was feeling pretty inspired, and this is what was a result from it. This is actually, I played this on my CAPS recital. I don't know if any of you, Maddox was there. Maddox was the OG, so he was there for that. So this is Turquoise. Hope you guys enjoy it. So you got some not so great ones, and then you have some masterpieces. That was probably, that's a nice one. All right, so here's another nice one. Hey man.
All right. So I actually have some CDs here if you guys want any. They're donation based. So how are you? Three different ones. But if you don't want to listen, if you don't have a CD player, they're on Spotify, Apple Music. You can find me, Chris Puckett. You can find all my music there. We're about to close out in a little bit, so this is another song, one of my favorite songs. And talking about 12-tone rows, Matt Elton. I incorporated the 12-tone row in here so you can spot it. It's pretty obvious. It's going to sound really weird. Talking about using C as a pedal tone.
Oh, yeah.
So hope you guys enjoy it. This is Fuchsia. practicing that 12-tone row for like the past 2 days. And I nailed it! I never nail it performing, and that made me feel good as a performer, and it's worth it practicing. That's what it's all about being a musician is, I was really fortunate to study with a man named Carol DeShiel, and he said a really important lesson that I learned from studying under him was, well, first of all, the lessons are quick. There's a lot of lessons. They're quick. And he said, sometimes we have to give up of ourselves for the sake of ensemble. And so when you think about that, it's like, the things that we do in our day-to-day, and if we're, an artist, are there things preventing us from getting things done? Stuff like that. So, it goes for everyone. And everyone that, wants to be an artist, it really does take a lot of work, individual, grinding. So, and the results show when you perform. So, I like to perform at my best. There's been moments where I have not performed at my best, and you look back on those moments and you're like, okay, if I'm gonna keep doing this, I've gotta make some adjustments, and so that's the beauty of it too, because like if you just focus on the music, a lot of problems that happen in life can really smooth out by themselves. So,
The shed's always there.
The shed's always there. The shed's always there. Well played. All right, well, I'm gonna close out one last song for y'all. It's another shorty but a goodie. This one's Magenta. It's kind of a weird one, but it has a place in my heart. Really awesome playing for you guys tonight. Thanks so much for having me, Aji. Lori, don't forget to tip your bartender, Lori. Thanks, Lori, for taking care of the house tonight. Thanks to my friend John for recording the event. Thanks to all my friends that showed up.
Chris, thank you for being here.
Thank me for doing what I do. And it's because of you I can do what I do, and so I'm thankful for that. And I definitely think about you guys all the time. So this is the last song, and if you guys like what you heard, you can find it on my Spotify, Apple Music page. And enjoy the rest of your evenings and get home safe, y'all. And that's it. It's like a math rock. You guys, thank you so much again. It's inspired me. I definitely am gonna work on another EP. Hopefully we'll be back playing somewhere in the next couple of weeks or so.